Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to see the last topic in fourth unit, which is fault tolerance. So today's class is about fault tolerance. Under fault tolerance, we have a topic called recovery. Recovery. Here in recovery, we need to know about what happens after fault has occurred. So here what happens after a fault occurred, that we need to know. That is called a recovery. After fault has occurred, what is to be recovered, that process is called recovery. A process that exhibits a failure has to be able to recover to a correct state. The process that exhibits a failure has to be able to recover to the correct state where it has got the failure. There are two basic types of recovery. They are backward recovery and forward recovery. And coming to backward recovery, the goal of backward recovery is to bring the system from an erroneous state back to a prior, that is previous correct state. So in backward recovery, the system is brought from the erroneous state back to the previous correct state. That is called backward recovery. The state of the system must be recorded, that is checkpointed from time to time, and then restored when things go wrong. Examples for backward recovery is reliable communication through packet retransmission. Coming to forward recovery, the goal of forward recovery is to bring a system from an erroneous state to a correct new state, that is not a previous state. In backward recovery, the system is brought to the previous state. Here it is brought to the correct new state. So forward recovery is to bring a system from the erroneous state to a correct new state. Examples for forward recovery is reliable communication via erasure correction, such as an N, K block erasure code. Backward recovery is far more widely applied compared to forward recovery. Checkpointing in backward recovery is costly, so it is often combined with message logging. Since it is costly, since checkpointing is involved in backward recovery, it is costly, so it is combined with message logging. Next topic is security. Under security, we are going to discuss the following topics: introduction about security, cryptography, secure channels, access control, and security management. Introduction. Security is one of the most important principles, since the security need to be pervasive through the system. Security policies involved in the security decide the security goals of a computer system, and these goals are achieved through various security mechanisms. Goals of computer security. The first is secrecy, which is the information within the system must be accessible only to authorized users. So the information within the system must be accessible only to the authorized users. That is called secrecy. That should be maintained in security part. And next is privacy, which is the information given to the users must be used only for the purpose for which was given. Information given to the users must be used only for the purpose for which it was given. So it must be used for only for the purpose for which the information was given. This is called privacy. Then authenticity, the user must be able to verify that the data obtained is from expected sender only. If the data is the coming data is sent from the expected sender only, then that is called authenticity in security. And in integrity, information must be protected from unauthorized access. Information must be protected from unauthorized access. That is called integrity. Potential threat and attacks on computer security. Threat and attack. Threat is a possible danger that might exploit a vulnerability to breach security and thus cause possible harm. This is called threat. And coming to attack, attack is any attempt to destroy, expose, alter, disable, steal or gain unauthorized access to make unauthorized use of an asset. Security policy and mechanisms. Security policy describes what actions the entities in a system are allowed to take and which ones are prohibited. Which are allowed and which are prohibited. That is described by security policy. Security mechanisms implement security policies. So the security policies are implemented by security mechanisms. The following techniques are used in security policies. Encryption. It provides a means to implement confidentiality, since it transforms the data into something which attacker cannot understand. So here the confidentiality is implemented in encryption. Next is authentication, to verify whether the user, client, server, etc. are authentic. So in a distributed system, user is involved, client is involved, server is involved. So all the all the persons who are involved in the distributed system are authentic, has to be verified as authentic. Users are authenticated by password. So authentication is done by password. Authorization, to check as whether the client is authorized to perform specific task. Then next is auditing. Tools are used to trace which clients accessed what information and when they did so. Secure channels. A secure channel protects senders and receivers from against fabrication, modification and interception. To have a secure communication, we should have an authentication of communicating parties and ensure data integrity and confidentiality. We need to ensure the data integrity and confidentiality in the secure communication. Authentication deals with verifying the identity of users before allowing them to access a resource. This mechanism prevents unauthorized user from accessing the system resource. In authentication, we have identification and verification. Identification is the process of claiming a certain identity by a user. In verification, verification is the process of verifying the user's claimed identity. Authentication in distributed system can be categorized into the following. Number 1, user login authentication. Number 2, one-way authentication of communicating entities. Number 3, two-way authentication of communicating entities. Next is access control. Under access control we have firewalls and secure mobile code. Firewalls, it is a special kind of reference monitor. Firewall is a special kind of reference monitor. It disconnects any part of a distributed system from the outside world. Firewall provides secure connectivity and prevent unauthorized programs from accessing the system. Firewall may be a hardware, software, or a combination of both. Firewalls are different types of there are different types of firewalls. Example, packet filtering and application level firewalls. Secure mobile code. Mobile code agent. It is a software code that has the ability to travel from one place to another to do the work assigned to it. Example, viruses. Viruses are the secure mobile code which is an agent. Mobile code agent applications. Data collection from many places. It implements a network backup tool. Searching and filtering is one of the application. Visit many sites, search through the information available at each site to match a search criterion. Monitoring. Example, in a stock market host, wait for a certain stock to hit a certain price, notify its user, or even buy some of the stocks. That is done by monitoring. Parallel processing. Distribute processes easily over many computers in the system. Goals of computer security. The first is secrecy, which is the information within the system must be accessible only to authorized users. So the information within the system must be accessible only to the authorized users. That is called secrecy. That should be maintained in security part. And next is privacy, which is the information given to the users must be used. Read-only state. The owner encrypts a message digest with its private key and easily check if the message digest has been tampered with by verifying the state against the signed message digest of the original state. This is what happening in read-only state. And coming to append-only logs, have the restrictions that the data can only be appended to the log. Therefore, it is no way that data can be removed or modified without the owner being able to detect this. Third one, selective revealing of state. Providing an array of data items. So it provides an array of data items where each entry for a specific server. Each entry is encrypted with the specific server's public key. Then the agent's owner signs the entire array to ensure integrity. Security management is the next topic. Under security management we have key management, secure group management, and authorization management. Key management. In key management, Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm is used. It is a simple and popular scheme for sending a shared secret key across an insecure channel. Secure group management. Here, key distribution centers or certification authorities must be trusted. It is necessary that security services, example, key distribution centers and certification authorities, offer high availability. If a process asks to join a group G, The integrity of the group must not be compromised. Read-only state. The owner encrypts a message digest with its private key and easily check if the message digest has been tampered with by verifying the state against the signed message digest of the original state. This is what happening in read-only state. And coming to append-only locks, have the restrictions that the data can only be appended to the log. Therefore, it is no way that data can be removed or modified without the owner being able to detect this. In authentication, we have identification and verification. Identification is the process of claiming a certain identity by a user. In verification is the process of verifying the user's claimed identity. Authentication in distributed system can be categorized into the following. Number 1, user login authentication. Number 2,